There's a lot of good anointments inside of Borderlands 3, but what are the best ones for Moze? Well, that is what we're going to be going into this video, so with all that stuff being said, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the first anointment I want to talk about is going to be none other than the Bear Splash anointment. Now, also something I want to note is that not everything, like the list is in no particular order, however the last two anointments will be like the most important ones in my opinion. Now, we're talking about Bear Splash. This will basically give you 160% extra splash damage for 18 seconds as soon as you come out of Iron Bear. Thank you, Hex Grenade. But you can also get it via Cub Bear whenever Cub Bear dies or the action skill is over. Combine that anointment with all of, Moze's amazing splash capabilities, especially in her blue tree. You just get some very, very solid synergy. Gotta love that good old Bear Splash, baby. As long as the weapon itself actually does do splash damage. Overall, though, a very solid anointment, one that you can only use on Moze, which makes it very, very solid, and it comes in on the list for a reason. Now, our next anointment is going to be next to Mags ASE. So, obviously, your next two Mags, has been a very solid anointment throughout basically this entire game's existence, although for a minute it was actually next to 50% ASE next to Mags. That was changed whenever Mayhem 2.0 came out, when the enemies just got like a huge fat, health bar, armor, and like shield like that boost to their stats. So having, something like next to Mags was a very, very good way to get, extra elemental damage on your weapon, especially if you're Moze, you're not gonna have to worry about reloading all that much, which makes next to Mags very, very solid. However, it's actually it works a little bit worse on Moze just because of the way how it's calculated. It's not as good on Moze as it is on like Flak and Amara, but it's still very, very good. But Moze can get some extra damage, more damage out of some of other anointments other than just rocking straight up next to Mags. That being said, next to Mags is still a very, very good anointment. Like, next to Mags is one of those anointments that no matter what, it's always going to be a good anointment no matter which weapon you get it on. There's just some situations, some circumstances where you're going to want a different anointment on it, or rather a different anointment than next to Mags on that specific weapon. For instance, like shotguns, red line, for instance, I definitely want to roll something like consecutive hits. However, next to Mags, still very, very, very good. Had to at least mention it, but we are going to go ahead and keep the list moving on. The next anointment that we have to talk about is going to be URAD, or Unhealthy Radiation, formerly, 5150, now 5100. Still an absolute beautiful anointment. This anointment has been very, very good ever since the game introduced it, and it did receive a bit of a damage nerf late June of 2021, with it going from 5150 to 5100, so putting it on par with like next to Mag. Now, don't let that distract you from it still putting out amazing damage, and still can just absolutely be a staple game changer of an anointment, especially on certain weapons like the Guardian Angel, where it's actually going to put radiation damage across all of your damage sources rather than just the weapon you're holding. So like things like your grenade, your melee, Iron Bear, your dots, stuff like that. Gotta love that tried and true URAD, baby. That allows for Moze to get some disgusting synergy from URAD, and just overall makes it a very, very, very good anointment. This is like one of my favorite anointments on every single rocket build, or even just on any gun in general. If I at least get URAD on it, I'm very excited. I'm gonna at least want to play with it. Overall, URAD, very, very solid anointment, and yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Just have to mention how good URAD can be. But now there's two anointments left. Let's keep it moving. Our next anointment might come to a bit of a shocker to some people. However, if you've been watching the channel recently, then you will know how much we truly have grown to appreciate this anointment, or at least I have, and that's going to be the basically Bear Crit anointment, which is basically going to allow you for 100% extra crit damage for the next two Mags upon exiting Iron Bear. So this anointment works very well with weapons that either, hit really, really hard already, or just have a fat magazine. For instance, the crit SMG that you can get from Moxie, this thing is an absolute gazer with this anointment, dude. You can get this thing over, 320% extra crit damage. You can rock an Infernal Wish, and then if you have amp on that shot, put on a Bloodletter, then you can basically get infinite amp shots that are going to be doing over 320% amp crit damage, and it's just going to get kind of insane and just overall disgusting. You can literally just incinerate melt bosses casually, as long as you can just hit their crit spot with this anointment. And overall, I found a very big liking to this anointment. It's grown on me a lot the more that I've used it for some of these videos. And overall, I believe it's probably the most underrated anointment for Moze in the game. Just, it's very, 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 very good. Now, it didn't used to always be like this. This actually used to be 10% and 25% crit damage for next to max, but they did buff it back in, I want to say, June as well, whenever the cartels came back for a second time. I want to say that's when they went ahead and buffed this anointment, whenever they nerfed some of the other ones. This thing has definitely seen a good amount of play, at least for me, since that buff. There's not too much for me left to say about it, other than it's just very, very good, and it's very underrated if you guys have not used it. But of course, you know, guys, we save the best for last. Ah, yes, and then you have something like consecutive hits, which is by far and away my favorite Moze anointment in the game. What can I say? I just love this anointment. Of course, consecutive hits is not locked to just Moze, but you get what I'm saying. So consecutive hits used to be stack up to 250%. It was like actually insane, but they did nerf it once again back when the cartels event came back for the second time back in June of 2021, and you know, they nerfed it down to 100. But like, if I'm being honest with you, I really haven't even felt the nerf to this anointment at all. It still absolutely shreds and puts in work. Dude, like, it still feels strong as ever. It's good with just about any single weapon it's on. It's going to work pretty well on. Like, I've always been a big opponent of, or not a big opponent, but a big advocate for having all my shotguns and all my multi-pellet weapon have consecutive hits on them, because you're going to stack it up, the anointment that is, very, very easily, casually, and it's just, you're gonna get a lot of damage out of it, and it's gonna start working around very, very well. It's been, anyone that's ran Moze for any decent strength of time knows that, let's be real here, consecutive hits has thrived on Moze like since day one. Since this game has been out, consecutive hits has been very, very good with Moze, and just overall has very, very good synergy with her, and it's the reason why it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite anointment inside of the entire game. And that's why we saved it the best for last. And there you guys have it, y'all. That is going to just about wrap up the video. Those are my top 5 favorite anointments for Moze. So once again, we had the Bear crit anointment, 100% next to mag crits. Consecutive hits, obviously, URAD next to mags, and then we had Bear splash. So yeah, those are my 5 top, like, best anointments for Moze. Let me know your favorite anointments for Moze down in the comments below. I want to know. And yeah, if you're new around here and you did enjoy the video, please make sure to drop your low on that like button and subscribe if you are new. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, baby. But yeah, let me know your favorite anointments down in the comments below. And my name's Kree. Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.